What an ending. Hello,
Beautiful.
everybody, again, and welcome back to the Super Journey News podcast. How'd everyone like that?
Loved it.
What a cliffhanger to end on. You guys got robbed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, well, it happens.
It happens. It happens.
You give us a high, and then you have to deliver us a low.
You guys
Chris doesn't
did
like to
have
give
your
us,
first victory, first battle victory, technically.
Chris doesn't like to give satisfying endings.
Yeah.
No happy endings here, baby.
No.
But yeah, too bad Defran is not here. He's in Philly / New York doing some tattoo stuff. But because there's a lot of stuff with his character that we can talk about. But first, let's get into it and talk about episode 3. As someone who was not a part of the actual journey just yet, Amy, what did you think of the episode?
As always, I love the character building. I love the NPCs are my favorite part.
Yeah.
I love the banter, like with Bukake and the dude, the country mag. He just sounds like he has a red hat on. And he's like, fuck whatever the people or whatever.
Yeah.
Like fuck the government, pretty much.
So the story about Rusty is really funny. I mean, I say it a bit in the episode, but so Defran and I spent a lot of time like collaborating on world building for this. Like we built like the universe together, but in terms of like building out some NPCs, I did a lot of that with Defran as well, just because he did season 1 Rainbow Valley and like trying to link the two, trying to create a world that was consistent and like connecting those threads. And just like randomly, he thought of an idea. We were creating the Teeth Greasers, which was like a robot gang. And then he himself plays a Warforged robot named Rusty in our home game with like some of our homies.
Lord.
And so
Rainbow
he was
Valley
like, he just wanted to throw him in there. And truly, like, this guy is basically, imagine Bugaki, but like a robot, but like a redneck robot.
Yeah, they were literally like just
So-
the connection was there.
So we were like,
all
okay,
the
he's
way.
gotta be in this gang.
I was
And
like,
then-
just kiss already.
Yeah. So that was the idea of putting. Yeah, I wish Defran was here to talk about it, but that was the idea of putting Rusty in this campaign in some way. It's funny that he becomes an ally because like I was fully ready to have you guys fight him. Like this was like a combat episode. Like you guys supposed to go through like this whole fort and like fight everybody, but then like Defran and Bugaki's always trying to like negotiate, like king negotiator over here.
There's a lot of battlings that still happen. I a lot more death
Battling
took
of
place
wits.
than I remembered. So like even just the fact that we took out 2 of them, it feels like we really did just kind of show up and just like piss where they live and just kind of like and then get a job from it too. So.
I truly did not expect you guys would take this route. Like I fully built out like the mech stats. Like they literally got Defran to make mech art for this episode, intending for you guys to fight this big boss like robot mech.
An oral
Rusty,
expert.
He
was using that tongue.
So this orator,
orator.
So you guys ended up not fighting him, and I now just have this art for a cool mech that I don't know.
Beautiful.
Maybe we'll bring him back as an ally at some point. But just really cool. And this happens in D&D so much, and like tabletop, just like enemies or NPCs just becoming like adopted into the party. Like how many times has that happened in Rainbow Valley?
I'm sure Defran planned to become friends with his soulmate.
I didn't know that. I didn't know, but it does make sense. It does make sense. It does make sense.
Yeah, Bugak, he plays his characters like when he's got a character he's interested in, or like he's kind of got a little bit of lore into. He definitely plays them a little bit in a cool way. You could tell he's trying to get an interaction out of them. And like and I try like if I have a character that I create, I always want to fucking kill them or like fight
like as
them.
Bugaki as a character is always like the one who's like always wants to blow people up, like as his first instinct.
Yeah.
But with every interaction, he's always also trying to make a deal first before, which is funny because he's always trying to negotiate before he gets to blowing up. Like he says, "We're making a deal" or whatever. This delivery, the delivery bit is so good. I love that it's threaded throughout the episode. Like the whole, we love when we can commit to a bit, and I love that we committed to that one throughout the whole thing here.
I'm excited for this mini game y'all about to do, this race.
Ooh, yes. So about the race. I think before the campaign started, I asked all the players, like, what do you want to see out of this campaign? Like, what kind of stuff do you want to do? Like, we obviously had like a base concept for it, but we were like, I was like, what like ideas did you want to throw in there? And one of them, it was from Sappy, actually. He wanted to do like a red line race episode or like a death race of some kind. So I was like, well, shit, I gotta throw that in here in some way, like create like mechanics, like using Lancer mechanics to create like a race episode. Or in our case, there's gonna be 2 race episodes coming up relatively soon, very soon. But yeah, I wanted to do it like this early on before like the plot got too thick, you know? And you guys could still do like fun stuff like race. So stay tuned, because those episodes are like some of the most fun that I've ever had playing a tabletop game.
Every turn was like
insane.
So dramatic.
So dramatic. So much happened. Yeah.
There's a lot that happened. It feels like the most visually painted episode. Like every part of it I remember vividly from the recording session. And the other episodes so far like have been like surprises to me, because I don't remember everything as much. But like the races, I can picture like almost every single turn.
Those episodes were really fun to do, and like kind of homebrew something. And like who doesn't love like a race episode? Like, you know, Akira is also one of my favorite animes. So like having like cool bikes and like cyberpunk aesthetics, and then Redline is like one of my favorite like anime movies in terms of like visually.
You even go Tron.
Yeah. Tron is sick. Just like so much cool race content out there. So a lot of that served as inspo for the upcoming race episodes. So like stay tuned for episodes 5 and 6, because those ones are fucking bangers. Let me tell you, bangers.
We have art for the mech cars too, which is pretty cool.
It's really
the racers.
It's really dope. So I'm glad that we set that up this episode. I honestly wasn't even intending. Like the race stuff was like, I was like, I'm gonna do it at some point. But as soon as you guys were like negotiating and not fighting with Rusty, I was like, fuck, maybe I'll get this. I'll make this a way for them to like get into the race, and then we can make that happen like shortly. So yeah, very very stoked on those episodes coming up.
It's a good option, because I'd rather not kill too many people that are chill. I was even posthumously like, in the moment I never feel bad about those in combat murders, but then we have those conversations and we're like, hey, you guys could race for us, and then we like, you know, we form this like connection. I'm like, oh man, that might have been kind of cool.
It's probably for the best I wasn't in that, because you like that one?
Would have been dead.
Not everyone, but just because you're like, damn, I really like this guy. Oh, really?
Yeah. There's many NPCs that I create that are intended to be enemies that you see what happens to them. They don't necessarily stay enemies. Because I guess I just create such fun NPCs. I don't know. I also wanted to talk about the especially toward the end, the addition of like GP. So in the Lancer system, and those of you in the chat who are like familiar with the system, you know, there's not really like a currency system. I think within the lore there's something called mana. But from what I gather, like within the Lancer universe, like resources are easy to come by. Like it's very easy to like, if you need something, you just get it. So in terms of like mech pilots, like you just build whatever you want, and then when you upgrade your mech, it's whatever. But I think when we first conceptualized this, like we really wanted that like Cowboy Bebop neo-noir vibe of like you guys really, really scraping by and like every dollar really meaning something. And so that's why we wanted to keep track of money in this, and also just like making so that like not after, well, in this case you did, but like after every battle in Lancer, you're supposed to level up. But that's assuming you have all the parts and stuff. But you'll see throughout the campaign, like not every battle results in a level up, and that's because it really depends on like how much money and what resources you guys have available, and also me as like a GM, like in terms of like pacing. Like if you guys leveled up after every encounter, like you guys get to level 12, which is the max, like so soon. So like drawing that out a little bit and like just pacing it more. I know Mike is because he wants to get to level 12 like right now.
I have so many level 12 mechs like ready to go.
Yeah, we even started
Mike's
on
typing
level
up free
2.
the mech.
We started the campaign at a level 2, which isn't I guess isn't common. Most people start at level 0. But we wanted to like have some stuff going already. We wanted to have like some
Plus, it worked out with the lore as well.
Yeah,
the story.
Stuff we had written
the
in.
story.
But yeah, so that's kind of the reason why we incorporated GP and money into the campaign. Just because story wise, I think it's important for these guys to really feel the pain of being broke.
Yeah,
part of the identity.
For non-Lancer people, there's mech printers, so you literally print your mech and you get licenses as you level up, and that's why there's no money or anything because you just print it. Yeah,
we do have like I think I might have mentioned it. There's like a mech printer that can print parts on your ship that Augie uses. However, you need the materials and like Dudanium, which costs money. So that kind of like gets around the being able to make whatever you want.
Have we talked about Dudanium alloy before?
I don't not in depth, but yeah, I think we might have mentioned Dudanium a little bit, but it's just a silly name, you know, Super Journey dudes. But it's like our version of Gundanium alloy, but it's our mystical metal, like our most powerful metal in the universe, which these Lancers and like some Lancers in the universe are made of. Within the lore, and then we'll kind of explore this later on in the campaign, but within the lore, it is metal within this universe that has mystical properties. I mean, we do know that there's magic involved in this universe. I
love that the way that we're mixing Lancer with D&D 5e, because we literally, this is season 2. We have a season 1 that's based on 5e, and so this is in the distant past of that, but there's still like, you know, the D&D races, and there's like still magic and stuff. So we try to play with that and the mechs at the same time.
We kind of combine a lot of 5e lore into this, which I think we've said before. But does the chat have any questions about this episode or like this universe or like what's coming up? How do you guys feel? What were some favorite moments this episode for you guys besides the banter?
Ugaki's shoe size. We'll call Alex, get the answer.
Size. I would say one of my favorite moments, and I think it's going to end up being a TikTok or a reel. It's the NRB, the no reason voter, where he's like, "I'm not moving," and then the apocalypse reel gets activated. That is just I love that moment in this episode.
Just a lot of the back and forth, because I think it was kind of funny because even though we kind of took 2 of them out, we approached them pretty calmly, I feel like, because there was so much conversation going on. Other than the like yelling at them about the deal, we weren't like treating necessarily fully like enemies. I feel like because we weren't like I think, you know,
I mean, besides shooting them a little bit more.
The shooting it felt like playful for me. Like even in these comments, I was enjoying it.
I
was enjoying the setup.
I don't know if I could ever interpret it as playful.
Like even just watching back, like I literally went out to the middle of nowhere. Like I boosted into the corner. If they had the intent of killing me, they could have just swarmed me, and I would have had nobody protecting me.
Well, it's funny, because you guys learn later on that they didn't even really fully have the intention of killing you. Like it was. Their programming was to keep you guys away from the fort, which is why, you know, they had the mines that like repelled you, which is why they had like things that pushed you away or like punished you for coming closer. And that's what kind of this encounter was built around. Which is, you know, me being like a first time encounter builder and first time like GMing Lancer, first time playing it in general, like every encounter is like a wild card for me. I don't know how it's gonna go. So building it around entirely around like movement was funny to see it unfold because like you guys just didn't really want like Mike didn't really want to move throughout the whole encounter.
This guy
Um,
doesn't put any cover down
favorite-
at all.
That was just
Yeah.
like my favorite joke about it because like I felt like it just completely shut down a lot of our play style that we were gonna be working
Yeah.
around.
I think this
Because
is
just like we couldn't move Mike.
yeah.
Well,
and I
and,
think
and from sorry, go ahead.
yeah. I was just saying this. I think this encounter is what clued me in because again, I hadn't made encounters before. I didn't know how important cover was, and how cover is such an important and like objects and like terrain is such an important part of Lancer battles. And like I'm used to like D&D where like it's just like mostly like an open space or like there's stuff that's interactable, but it's not as important. When I pictured like this landscape and it was kind of like a wasteland that you guys there's like a fort in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I didn't imagine there being cover, but like were I to do this again, I would have added like rocks and like something you guys could hide behind and get closer. Because I truly understood the importance of that kind of thing in Lancer.
Yeah, I think it worked out though for the story because Whiskers was kind of like he just destroyed a mech and he didn't want to destroy another one, and Augie was gonna yell at him and stuff, so he was just gonna like chill and like let the other boys like take care of things while he was like just trying to support them from behind Bugaki.
It always somehow makes sense.
It always makes sense, I know.
Chad asked if the cat has a mech. Amy, if the cat was to have a mech, what would it be called?
If she had to have a mech.
Well, I feel like your cat situation, your cat would be like your familiar. So
yeah.
Hell no. I would be
No.
the familiar.
You would be
I'm the bitch. She's so bossy.
That's hilarious.
Her shit would be like
Bossy
something like
cat.
just maniacal or whatever.
Using you more than Zuzu.
I would call it zoomies. It'd be like a zoom.
Zoomies. That's cool. I like that.
That's great.
I like
That's
that.
You specifically use it to go get things.
Just tramples things at like 4 a.m, 3 a.m.
Yeah. Great cat behavior. Yeah, if anyone has any other questions, if you guys have anything you guys want to talk about in the episode, otherwise, we'll be here same time, same place next week. For
Honestly, I think for me, I think it's pretty cool because based on where we're at right now, we're recordings. I've started to slowly notice that I don't even know if it's just by habit. I think Mike does it. You'll mention that this is our home base now. Whenever we like take over something, like this is our, and it feels like we put a flag down. It feels like we completed like a Mario level. We're like, we're doing a little save point,
totally.
And it's a nice little checkpoint. And I'm sorry, it's just small little things like the consistency I'm noticing in the recording
I guess that when you mention it like that, I guess that is how I picture TTRPGs as like an RPG, right? Like a save point, and like you set up.
This is definitely a save point.
It helps to visualize where we are, and especially like when we talk about the hot potato, that's like our world map airship. Like we open it up to like the galaxy level,
the navigation,
and we go to the planet, and then So it's sick that we start this game with that.
Yeah, I again didn't plan on you guys befriending Rusty, but now that you guys kind of have Fort Borg and their resources to kind of help you out with the race. And we'll see next episode all the race prep and all the people that you meet. It's also a very fun episode. A lot of cool RP.
That was pretty fun.
And a lot of cool art awaiting us next week. I believe Defran is also still gone.
He will be.
So it'll just be probably us again. But
I feel like we'll be able to make enough commentary on Bugaki's
there's a lot of Bugaki antics every episode, but we'll comment on his behalf. But thank you guys all for tuning in. We will see you here, same time, same place next week. Again, as always, the episode drops officially online at midnight. So if you guys want to watch it again, which you should, and share it around, that is what you can do on all of our channels.
Beauty.
And I'll post this talkback session afterwards too, at some point tomorrow. All right.
Cool.
See you guys around. Thanks for tuning in. That was a great episode. Over and
Yeah.
out.
Oh God.
Over and out.
Over and
There we
out.
go.
That's
Over
the
and
one.
out.
Over and out. Oh, hold on.
Whoosh.
I have the
Whoosh.
over and out.
There we go. Yeah. Times
Yeah.
four.